Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you for joining for today's demo. So basically for demo, what I will be taking is I will try to clarify two main questions. What is Pega and why Pega? Basically, these two questions. Okay, so the whole discussion will go be around something related to these two areas, and after that, basically I'll be starting with what do you say? What can you expect from this training session, and what are the expectations from a trainer to a student like you? Okay, so yeah, when we're discussing about the expectations, then yeah, then that is where I'll be telling you, and then I'll be telling you about sorry, we'll be talking about that certificates, what are the different types of certificates are there, and how things are going to be. Okay, so for this one, before starting the session, just to check that you people have access to the chat, you know um, just no need to tell your name. Definitely no need to tell your name. What you have to do is, in the chat box you have to message what is your experience. Are you from IT background, and what is your experience? If you are not from IT background, you can say non-IT, finished. Please ping in the chat box. Able to see the chat box? First of all, able to hear me? Okay. Okay, good. Some more responses. And I don't know somebody's name with AA. I'm going to dismiss AA because minimum proper name is expected for this session. Okay, please change your name. Mr. AA. Mr. or Miss.
I thought we were not telling names, so that's why I put initials, but I'm okay to put my name in here.
Yeah, thanks. No, like, I mean, in the chat, nobody else will be seeing it. So that's fine, no problem. As long as you're a student. Okay, fine. So, pretty good. Actually, I would say this session is going to be experienced people. Couple of people are non-IT, but still okay. So let's take a simple example, okay, to understand Pega. Maybe many of you just say yes or no for this question, unmute and say yes or no. Many of you came to Pega maybe because of either one of this reason: low code platform, akka, easy to learn, or hearing lot of openings are there. Am I right? Yeah, correct, right? So maybe a couple of you might be coming here because of these two reasons combined, or a couple of you are coming because of one reason. Okay, so at least one reason, because maybe a friend or a brother or someone who can who is already in the IT background, he might have told learn Pega, it is easy. Okay, and let me clarify here, my session definitely it is going to the number of classes will be 30 to 35. Okay, 30 to 35 sessions, and generally I'll be taking every day 45 minutes, 45 to 55 minutes, 55 minutes, and then generally every day I'll be keeping 5 to 10 minutes for clarifications. That means, like, maybe you practice it something what we have discussed yesterday and you want to show me and ask a query. So this is how it is. Apart from this, student should spare additional 60 minutes at least to practice what has been discussed in class. If you are a student who cannot give this, which means total 60 minutes, sorry, 2 hours. If you are a student who cannot give this 60 minutes, please don't join the class. Okay, I'm saying in upfront. Maybe I might be the first trainer who is saying if you can't practice, don't join. Okay, I don't want to bush around. I'll be directly saying everything. Okay, so when you say, yeah, maybe I'll just keep this here. Easy to learn? Yes. When you do this, it is called easy, you can term it as easy to learn, no problem with it. Okay, when we are talking about low code platform, I'll just simply give a demo, and when we see that particular demo, maybe you will understand what exactly we are trying to do there. And then when we are talking about openings, basically generally what we do every, my sessions are going to keep you as a 2 to 4 years experienced Pega profiles. Okay, so what you have to do is do this thing for all the 30 to 35 sessions. That means like meaning 35 into maybe let's say 60, and you are going to do another 60, roughly around 120 into 35, somewhere around you are having more than 500 hours of learning here. So after that, what you can do is you can project yourself, or if you are already in IT background, you can convert your IT experience. Maybe I see maybe a couple of members are having more than 10. Out of 10, you can convert 4 or 5 years as a Pega experience and then put the resumes. Okay, and then try the jobs. For a non-IT background, you have to speak with Prakash how to handle your profile in the IT background. Okay, so yeah, anyway, I'm going to start this. My server is starting, so let it start. In the meanwhile, let me tell you what is this low code platform is about. So I don't know, for the non-IT people, anyone from the non-IT, because IT people will be already knowing. Do you know Java? I mean to say, when I say not the coding, basically, have you heard of Java?
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Right? So what is Java? Basically, maybe I'll write a statement. You tell me whether you think that is what you heard. Line by line coding. Is it what you heard?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. So if you ask IT background, IT person, he will definitely say yes. Java is a line by line coding. Okay. So keeping that in perspective, what we will do is we'll take a scenario of building a simple, maybe an application, or students enrolling application. Okay, students enrolling application. So for this particular application, the requirements are there should be a home page, and there should be home page will have only first name, last name, and phone number, and full details page. And here basically you will be having a lot more other details, maybe address, education background, etc. So all these details will be covered in full details, including the home page. And then we have to save the entries into DB. So this is the requirement that was given for a students enrollment application. Okay, so for this particular application, the first scenario where I have used Java as a development language, Java as a tool, let us assume I have written some 3000 lines of code. 3000 lines of code. So if you want to break it, maybe I'll break it this, no, I'll call this as requirement 1, R1. Okay, don't get confused. Here actually I'm keeping it just for my ease. Requirement R1, requirement R2, requirement R3. Okay, so let's say for requirement R1, I have written 1000 lines of code. Okay, requirement R2, I have written 1000 lines of code, and then R3, another 1000 lines of code, another 1000 lines of code. So generally, as per SDLC process, basically, for the non-IT background people, software development life cycle. To keep it in a simple words, every application will undergo these phases. That means the application will start at requirements, and then development will happen, and then testing will happen. And generally in testing there are two types: SIT testing, UAT testing, and then go live or release to end users. So this is the typical approach that will happen in any software industry. Okay, sorry, any software application. Okay, nowadays what they are doing, they are calling it as, there are different many models, that is like waterfall model, uh, agile model. All these things are models actually, but still SDLC process is still present irrespective of the model. SDLC model is still present, the methodology is still present irrespective of the model. Maybe after this session you just go and Google around what is this, because this sort of basic things are expected. Okay, fine. So why we talked about this SDLC model? First of all, because if you see, what did we do? We talked about requirements here. Okay, this is requirements, and let's say we talked about development here. So after development, what is coming? Testing. So in testing, generally what they tend to do is they identify something called as defect. Okay, in a fancy name, bug. So for me, if you ask what is a defect, anything which is not according to the requirement is considered as defect. For example, if there is a phone number field which is expected to have numerals, and if there is alphabets in that, if it is accepting it, when user is able to key alphabets in that, it is considered as defect. As simple as that. Something which is not according to the requirement. Okay. Fine. So for our requirement, let's say that we got 30 defects. 30 defects, let's say, for our requirement. Then if you see, let's say if you split it, 10 defects are from here, 10 defects are from here. Ignore my spelling mistakes. 10 defects are from here. Okay, so this is the scenario 1. Scenario 2. Scenario 2. For scenario 2, what I will do is, I'll not directly go into Pega. I'll just take .NET. Okay, but just to give a little bit more background of .NET is considered a bit advanced than Java because of drag and drop options and predefined templates. Okay, maybe if you go around Google, this is the whole conclusion that you will get when you're talking about .NET. So meaning, let's say, what is requirement 1? Anyone? What is requirement 1? Okay, that says you people are not following. That's fine. Okay, R1 requirement 1 homepage. Let's say in .NET there is a ready-made template. Okay, there is a ready-made template. When we say ready-made template, what we have to understand is this is already tested and no defects. Okay, so what then? What is left? Full details page. Yes. If you are not speaking, then just go on mute.
Save the entries into deep.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you for the help there. So if you see, when you see this particular scenario 2, what exactly is because of this advanced, when I termed the name as advanced, right? Let's say the coding is 1600 lines. Okay, and maybe 800 lines and maybe 800 lines. So now my question, what will happen to the defects? Will it increase or reduce? If it is going to increase, why? If it is going to reduce, why? Open. Session is open for answers.
Reduce.
Reduce, yeah. Maybe, maybe
Because
someone. Yeah, somebody told reduce. Yes. Answer 1.
Yeah.
Reduce. Why? Why it will reduce?
Because less lines.
Oh, very good. Less lines of code. Then
because the template has already been built and tested before.
template is already there and tested. Okay. So very good points over there. So if you see, this answer is absolutely correct. From scenario 1 to scenario 2, we have clearly observed that because of having a ready-made template, and less lines of code, the number of defects are drastically, or maybe, let's say, let's not be so much this people, let's say 25 defects, let's say number of defects is coming down. So what happens in Pega is we don't have lines of coding. In Pega there is no manual coding at all, but there is a but. Everything comes with a but, right?
Yeah.
So in Pega there is no lines of a code, but what we will have is configurable templates. Okay, so let me tell you a best example of a configurable templates. I will open something. Maybe you guys tell me whether it is a template or not. Is this a template? Generally, what do you guys do with Excel sheet? Maybe non-IT background also. Maybe you might be doing with something with Excel sheet. If I am the person, what I'll be doing is I'll be using first row as a header, name, phone number, email ID. I'll be using first row as header, and then from second row onwards, I will be filling the name Ram, so and so, so and so. So what is happening here? Basically, we are deciding that in this Excel sheet, in this particular tab, in this Excel sheet, the first column, A column, is meant for name, and the second column is meant for phone number, and third column is meant for email ID, and you have to key in only email ID. Of course, there will be a lot of human errors. That's, I'm not talking about that. Let's not go into there. But yes, can we call this as a template? Maybe, yeah, students template. If every one of you has been given an Excel sheet and fill your details, obviously everyone will follow the pattern. So this sort of templates in Pega, we have everything is a configurable template. Maybe let me show you one simple template. I think I'll check my server has started or not. I think it is up. So this is the first time. Maybe I don't know if you have already seen Pega screen. If you have already seen, that's fine. I'm taking 8.7 version because currently 8.7 is the running version. 8.7 and 8.6. 8.8 is coming maybe this month end or so. So don't worry about it. So when I say template, let me show you a simple template. We will talk about how we are creating all these things, etc. and all when we actually start the sessions. Now let me go into template. So what did I do? Carefully create. I went into user interface and I went into something called a section. Okay. So what is this section? How to understand this section? I'll talk about it later. Let's say person particulars. What will come in person particulars, guys? What are all the details generally we take in person particulars?
On last name, contact number,
Okay.
age,
Yeah, name, contact number, age, fine.
mail ID.
Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, mail ID,
Gender.
gender. Okay, fine. So now actually if you see, I am taking see here, what did we in scenario 2? .NET is a .NET has drag and drop options, and just to extend it, Pega also has drag and drop options. See here, data capture, text input. See what I'm doing? I am dragging and dropping. Okay, text input came there automatically. Maybe just to show you again, data capture, hold it, drag and drop. Okay, so here actually if you see, maybe okay, first name, I'm using same thing for everyone, I mean for all the fields, just to demo the template part. Last name, your keyboard shortcuts also works. I'm just Control C and Control V. Okay, or you can right click and you can change it to anything. Let's say phone number, let's say what, email ID, somebody told email ID, and someone told gender, so let me keep that also, gender, and I'll just simply save. My first question here, did I write any lines of coding.
No.
What did I do?
Just drag and drop.
Drag and drop.
And after dragging and dropping, what I did?
By right clicking, we can name the property.
Yeah. So basically, can I call that as some configuration?
Yeah.
Right. Configuration. So if you see my statement here, configurable templates. See, I did not say template alone. Configurable templates. Okay. Let me show you. Why I am calling it as template. So this is person particulars. Okay. Let's see a preview before going to anything else. Let's see a preview. Actions preview. So if you see this particular screen, of course, leave about backend properties, whatever that I have done. But in a matter of seconds, or maybe in a matter of minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, I guess, we are able to create a screen where we can take first name, last name, phone number, email ID, and gender. Okay. So if I have to write line by line coding, I'm sure it is going to have more than 1,000 lines. And just to show you, if you see in the actions, if you see view XML, Pega has written this much of code in the backend. See, what you have to understand here is you are configuring this, but in the backend, Pega is writing this code. This is the XML, and Pega, what it does, it will also write a Java program for it. See here. So this is a Java program, and for a simple section what we just created, Pega has written 2,500 lines of code. 2,500 lines of code. So let's take another example, because one thing might look like dummy. Let me create another one. So create user interface. Carefully observe and highlight to me if I changed any of my steps. Okay, section. So this time let's create maybe address details. A simple thing. Okay, address details. If I change any steps that I followed for a person particulars, highlight to me. Okay, so create again. I'll take address line 1, maybe street, area, city, country, postal code, or maybe I'll just delete one. So we have street. Maybe I'll just open this. That's okay. We'll talk about these things when we go into the actual sessions. So street, city, city, country, and finally the postal, maybe postal code. Submit, save. Now a question: did I change my sequence of steps? or for a between person particulars and address details, did the template change? Answers?
No.
No, template did not change and my steps did not change. Okay, so that is the definition of this low code platform. Where is it? Yeah, low code platform. Okay, when I say a low code platform, what we should be clear is we still have to drag and drop where applicable, and then we have to configure where applicable, and in the backend Pega writes the code for us. Any confusion with this particular statement? Yes or no? You can, if you don't want to speak, you can ping in the chat. I really appreciate that. Any confusion with this particular statement? With the example what we have seen? Yeah, good. So keeping this particular understanding, let's go here in scenario 1. So for the same lines, for the same thing, we know that we are not going to write lines of code. Definitely we are not going to write lines of code, and we are going to do some drag and drop and configure. Drag, drop and configure. So same thing we'll be doing with these two things also. Okay, so now tell me what will happen to the defects count? Increase, decrease, or don't go, based on whatever that we have seen till now. What will happen?
Decrease.
Decrease. Maybe the reasons we are using templates. Okay, we are not writing line by line coding. And maybe just to show you, Pega is a self evaluating tool. Okay, it has its own validations. Let me show you. Of course, I just used a what do you say, a dummy value here, but actually here if you see this property field, I'll give something like this. Okay, which is invalid, completely invalid. Okay, when I click on submit, it will not allow me to do such kind of configuration. It will not allow me to do. So Pega also has its internal validations, which is going to further reduce the number of defects. That means what I'm trying to say, whenever there is a configuration mistakes, Pega will stop you as much as possible, but it is not a complete like every configuration mistake will be highlighted. No, but it will highlight many of the scenarios, and that is self-sufficient. Okay, and that addresses most of the, what do you say, a very basic mistakes. Okay, so this is how Pega tool is. Okay, everything is drag and drop, everything is configuration, no lines of code, nothing at all. Okay, and see, I don't know if you see these three icons, right? These are coming because I have installed a Pega software. Okay, instead of naming it as software, I will call it as Pega server, because in the personal edition, okay, I don't want to give any this one. So Pega server, what will be installed is, it will install Apache server in backend, and also it will install PostgreSDB in backend. Okay, and also some HTML related content also in the backend. So it is installing multiple softwares as a single package, and none of them will be visible in your control panel. Okay, so that's the best part of it. None of them will be visible in the control panel. So that is the reason I am terming it as Pega server. Okay, if it is a single software, then yeah, I would have said yeah, single software. But yes, this is a server. Okay, for this particular one, minimum requirements. Whoever you want to continue with the sessions, you should have at least Windows 10 or 11 with hard disk for Pega practice at least 50 GB. Okay, maybe server, out of this, maybe 15 GB will go for server installation, and the rest of the things are for your practice materials, etc. I mean the videos, whatever that you get. Okay, then RAM 8 GB will be, sorry, 8 GB will be kind of stuck and all. So I prefer to keep it at 16 GB. And this is the only requirement. Or in a way to say, for the Apple lovers, I'm also one of them, but still, personal edition is not supported on Mac. No. Okay, at least on the current Macs, which are coming on M1 and M2, what do you say, chips and all. No, it does not support. Okay, so that covers the practice platform. What do you need, etc., and all. Okay, so now if you see out of these three scenarios, from a developer point of view, what is going to be the advantage to the developers? What is the advantages? Or what are the advantages? Anyone? If you ask me as a developer, right? Fortunately, even though I'm a computer science student, I hate lines of coding. So from a developer point of view, I don't need to write line by line coding. And since it is just drag and drop, because actually maybe if I show you one or two more, two times more, and if I ask any one of you to do this, you will be able to do. So that means, since it is just configurations, so I can build faster, or I can develop faster. Okay, I don't need to write line by line coding, develop faster. And also, if you see, a developer's credibility, or what do you say, reputation, is in when a code is deployed in for testing, he should have less number of defects. So-called software industry, this one. So if I am a person, and if everything what I write is going to have hundreds of defects, then people not give value to me. So less defects, or let's keep it in layman terms, less headache. Okay, so these are the advantages to a developer. And for a company, what are the advantages is, see here, a developer can develop faster. Okay, let's take the simple example what we have discussed here. See, if there is a person who has to write 3000 lines of code, let's say that he has to work for 10 days. 10 days, and for a day $80, let's say, sorry, 80 USD. Okay, so here 1600 lines of code, maybe let's give 6 days, same 80 USD, or maybe you can keep 100 USD, let's say, because this fellow is considered as a little bit advanced, right? Now for Pega, the same, this one, roughly it will take 2 days. Even if you pay 150 USD, where is the cost? Which one is the highest? Scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. Okay, here how much it is going to be? Here how much? 800 USD. And here 600 USD.
600.
And here 300
300.
USD. So if you are owning a company, which one you will choose?
300, of course.
Right? Okay. And also one more advantage is, for example, let's say you and me are competitor companies. I have chosen Java, which is free. You have chosen Pega, which is a licensed tool. So for me, it is going to take 1 year. For you, it is going to take 3 months to develop. So you will release ahead of, you will release almost 9 months before me. And by the time I release my product, if you captured the market, that means you already won, because all the customers who came to you just because I released, they all will not come back to me, right? So that is the advantages to a company. So faster release of products, and less cost to develop. I'm not talking about license cost. License cost is completely different. Keep it aside. Okay, so less cost to develop, or maybe manpower. I'll keep it in a very simple terms. Less cost to manpower, and but when it is faster to release the products, basically, what do you say? Advantage over competitors. So this is what is Pega. Basically, what is Pega? My statement would be this. Where it is? I already wrote. Low code platform, and why Pega? This is my answer. Okay. Okay. So that is what is Pega is about. I hope you guys got a little bit of clarity. What is Pega and why people are so much gaga about it, etc. and all. Okay. For this particular training, as I told, from a trainer to student perspective, my expectation is, see, this one, even if you miss, I don't really mind, because a recording will be shared to you. But if you are not practicing this, then I might not be able to help you to the full extent. Because whenever a student asks a doubt in this 5 to 10 minutes, I will ask them to show what they have done first. Okay, if they don't practice, I will not be able to answer the query. Okay, because my simple what do you say, logic or funda is, if you don't practice, your doubt is invalid. Okay, even if you take it as wrong, but still okay, because this is a tool, it's not a kind of theory tool, or a theory concept, not a theory textbook. It is a tool. So you got experience on Excel by practicing it. You were able to write Word documents because you practiced it. You practiced as in, maybe you might have written 5-10 documents. Excel also 5-10 Excel sheets. So that's why you know what is this column, what is this option, etc., and all. Same way, even Pega also, you have to practice it. Okay, especially the sessions what I'm going to take. Okay, you have to practice it once, you have to practice it twice, better practice it 3 times, best. Okay, so if you don't have that much of time, yeah, please rethink your decision, because there is no value add in that to you or to me. Okay, and then basically in Pega there are 3 levels of certifications: CSA, CSSA, and LSA. Okay, currently I'm here myself. Okay, so CSA is for people who have 2 years to 4 years of Pega experience. Okay, it will be like 4 to no limit actually. Some people will be like 15 years, they will continue on CSA. Some people will keep for 10 years, some people will keep for 8 years, but still okay. So minimum for this one, 6 years to no limit. Minimum 6 years is needed, because even if you say you have completed your LSA in your, what do you say, 3rd year or 2nd year, people will not believe. Definitely no, they will not believe. My training, knowledge wise, remember, it is going to keep you here. Okay, my training is going to keep you here in terms of knowledge. Okay, now people ask me, can I write my certification on my own? If you have done this, where is this? I don't really see a problem in doing that. I don't really see a problem in doing that. Okay, so but for CSSA, yeah, it's not that easy. You need at least a minimum of what do you say, 6 months or so, a practical experience to do it. But nowadays things are happening, I think you guys know what I mean. So yes, there are ways, but still, yes. Okay, so I think what I have covered, I covered what can you expect. Yeah, from this training, what you can expect is basically Prakash is the admin part of this session. I am the teaching part of this session. So Pega videos will be shared by you. I mean recordings, everyday recordings. Recordings will be shared to you by Prakash. Okay, and what I'll be doing is, maybe if for every 2 to 3 days, I'll be giving 2 to, let's say, 4 days. I'll be giving assignments which are going to test your knowledge and practice at the same time. Knowledge and practice. Okay, so these are the things. And for certifications and resumes, reach out to Prakash. Okay. Any questions to ask? Okay, every my session will be like this only. I will write something and then I will show it in the tool and I will prove my statements, whatever statements that I have made, I will prove them, and it will be Q&As. Basically now actually I'm leaving people who don't speak, but in the sessions I'll ask, call by name, and I'll ask them to, or I'll ask maybe, okay, so and so, can you tell the answer for it? What do you think is the answer? Even if you don't get it right, that's okay. Remember, you have to attend interviews. Okay, so if you can't speak to me, you can't speak anywhere. As simple as that. Okay, so any questions?
I have a question.
Sir,
One
yeah,
at a time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ram, this is regarding the Pega Certified System Architect, right? The course which you'll be taking. So
Mm.
you will be following the same course as in the academy.pega.com, which has all the missions like Code App Builder, Extended Dev Studio. You'll be going through those things in details, or because you told it will be a Q&A session where you'll be showing the things, but there are certain.
I would be going, what do you say, a little bit more different there actually, because generally the academy, right, they tend to teach in a very different way, which is not the actual Pega that is used outside. Okay,
Mhm.
they are teaching their latest features, but now actually if you see, whatever that I'm going to take it, these are the actual things that are going to come to you in exams, and these are the actual things that you will be doing in a project. But still you can, I'm about to discuss that in the next class, but still okay. So but still you can go to PDN. I will guide every one of you whoever is enrolled to start with what session and what has to be referred after every class. Okay, you understand?
So
Maybe I'll be taking a session and I will say this particular session has been discussed in Pega Academy in so and so chapters. Go and read that also. Something like that. Okay. Mm.
so Ram,
Yes.
so you said you are at LSA level, right? By that, did you mean you have written that LSA exam, or are you preparing for that LSA exam?
I wrote it.
Oh, you wrote it. Okay.
I wrote it. By the way, anyway, Ram is my technical, what do you say, teaching name. You know this
Oh,
so-called moonlighting thing, right? So Ram
oh,
is not my actual name.
okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, you'll get to it, like, once you enroll and all, you will get to know my name. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, back to the same question. So what you told is on the academy one, which is much advanced than what you teach.
Not
Sorry, I
advanced.
got.
See, in academy, right, generally the way they drive is they ask you to use App Studio, but in the actual project, they don't use App Studio.
Mm-hmm. There is Dev Studio.
They use Dev Studio. I think like you are already familiar with Pega. They use Dev Studio in most of
But
the
even
projects.
Dev Studio modules are also there, right? In this, why I'm asking this question is, in my company, they ask you to go through these modules because these are really helpful going forward, which is used by the Pega Academy. So that's why I'm asking this question. Sorry
Correct,
for
correct.
that.
I mean, there is no doubt in your question. It's actually a valid question. The thing is, nowadays, I see very less number of applications, at least as we speak, are using App Studio for their development. maybe the current latest version is 8.7.3 or something. So 8.7.3 also people are not using App Studio actively. They are using Dev Studio. So whatever course curriculum that is going to be shared to you by Prakash, it is going to completely cover all those things. But it doesn't mean I'm going to completely skip the App Studio. I'll just give an overview of what is App Studio, etc. and all. But rest of the App Studio you have to learn from the Pega Academy. Basically, mine is a project-oriented training. There is the Pega Academy one is a theory, more emphasis on theory rather than the what do you say, actual project usage. Because I'm into this industry, of course, in the Pega industry for more than 11.5 years, and trust me, no bushing around. I did not use App Studio for a full end-to-end project. Nowadays, people are saying, can I do this in App Studio? And most of our Pega developers, not only me, most of our Pega developers answers is App Studio is not that much robust, but still we can do a little part of it. You got it? So App Studio is not a complete solution. To keep it in a simple words, App Studio is not a complete solution. Dev Studio is the complete solution as of now. App Studio is just a kind of, for example, if there is a requirement, maybe 20-30% of the requirement can be achieved from App Studio, but rest of the things has to be done in Dev Studio only. Okay, at least the UI part maybe we can do it from App Studio, but rest of the things we can do from Dev Studio.
But still, can we go and do the challenges which are in the Pega Academy? Because that is something which they've asked us to do. Hence, checking will this training helpful to do those things or?
So that one actually, like, when you are trying to do the, basically, if you see my whole sessions, right, I'll be keeping more emphasis on Dev Studio. Generally, I don't keep more emphasis on App Studio, but still I can help. Because I don't want to bush around. I want to be as clear as possible. Okay. Generally, at least if you know any Pega developers, you can still go and ask them how much extent you have used App Studio in your current project or maybe in your previous projects. You can go and ask, not an issue. Okay. Yeah.
Ram, I do have one more question. Will you show us the current projects or your previous projects where you have worked and you did the needful?
Actually, this is where actually I want to break the sensitive line.
Okay.
All my projects are government projects. Okay, because Pega is not a, what do you say, less cost tool. It is a very costly tool, and only major products will, major big companies and governments only can afford that particular tool.
True.
Okay, so disclosing government code, no, it's going to be very serious thing, and that too I work maybe, since this is offline discussion, I'll stop the recording.